Katt Williams tells it like it is. He says Hollywood is full of fake stories. The people who make movies and shows are really good at making fake things look real. And sometimes, they do the same thing with real people's lives. Katt says when you see celebrities fighting or having problems on TV, it's not always real. Sometimes, powerful people plan these stories in secret rooms before you ever see them. It's like they're writing a movie script about someone's real life. Now let's talk about the Diddy documentary. There was a man named Gene Deal. He used to be Diddy's security guard. Gene saw everything that happened around Diddy for many years. He was like Diddy's shadow. Everywhere Diddy went, Gene was there too. When 50 Cent decided to make a documentary about Diddy, he called Gene. Gene wasn't supposed to be alone in this. He wanted to bring two other people with him. One was Kirk, who knew all about the business and money side of Bad Boy Records. The other was Tim, who grew up with Diddy and knew him since they were kids. Gene thought this was perfect. Three people who knew Diddy from different angles: the streets, the childhood, and the business. Together, they could tell the whole true story. Gene talked to 50 Cent on the phone. 50 said they would spend whatever money was needed to tell the real story. Gene was excited. He thought this documentary would finally show people the truth about what happened behind closed doors. But then something strange happened. Gene asked to get paid fairly for his story, his photos, and his videos. Suddenly, the director of the documentary said no. She told Gene he was asking for too much money. Gene was confused. He had been paid good money by other documentaries before. He even had the papers to prove it. But this director didn't believe him. She acted like Gene was lying. Then the director said something that surprised Gene. She told him that 50 Cent doesn't actually decide what goes in the documentary or who gets paid. Even though 50's name was all over the project, he wasn't really in charge. Gene felt betrayed. He was doing this because 50 Cent asked him to. But now he was being told that 50 didn't have the power everyone thought he had. While Gene was fighting for fair payment, he found out that Kirk and Tim were making their own separate deals. They weren't sticking together like they planned. Kirk was working behind the scenes to get himself a good deal, forgetting about the team. This is what Katt Williams was talking about. The person with the most dangerous truth gets pushed out. The people who will tell softer, safer stories get invited in. Gene had stories that could shake everything up. He knew about things that happened at parties, in studios, and behind closed doors. But maybe that was too much truth for some people. In the final documentary, you see Kirk talking calmly about business deals and contracts. He looks professional and trustworthy. But according to Gene, Kirk left out the darkest parts of the story. He told just enough to make Diddy look bad, but not enough to expose everyone else who did wrong things too. Kirk used to own 25% of Bad Boy Records. He was there from the very beginning. But somehow, he ended up with nothing while Diddy became a billionaire. On camera, Kirk talks about this like it was just business. But Gene says Kirk was heartbroken about it in a much deeper way. Gene says Kirk loved Diddy, not just as a business partner, but in a way that made him do anything Diddy asked. When you watch Kirk in the documentary knowing this, he looks different. He looks like someone trying to hide pain while talking about money and contracts. Here's what Katt Williams wants you to understand. In the music business, when rappers die or have problems, somebody always makes a lot of money. It's not an accident. Think about it, when a famous rapper dies, the record label doesn't have to share money with them anymore. They only have to talk to the rapper's mom once a year. But the label keeps selling the music and making millions. Katt says a rapper might be worth $20 million when they're alive. But after they die, the label makes $60 million or more. That's a huge profit for them. So here's the big question. Did the Diddy documentary really tell you the truth? Or did they just show you the parts that made Diddy look bad while protecting everyone else who did wrong things too? Gene Deal saw everything. He had photos, videos, and stories that could change everything. But they didn't want to pay him what he deserved. Instead, they chose people who would tell a safer version of the story. This is exactly what Katt Williams warned us about. Hollywood controls the stories. They decide who gets to talk and what gets shown. The people with the most dangerous truth often get left out completely. When you watch documentaries now, ask yourself, are you seeing the whole truth, or just the version that keeps rich people safe and powerful people protected? The person with the camera decides what story you believe. And sometimes, the most important voices are the ones you never get to hear. Think about that next time you watch something that claims to expose the truth.